We'll move on and we could talk about Manchester United. Talking of signings, Pete, looks like Leny Yoro set to be announced potentially. Have you got an update on that for us, please?
Yeah, it looks like this deal is inching ever closer. He flew into England for his medical earlier this week, so all signs are that this deal probably will get announced before the end of the week, and a real coup for Manchester United to land Yoro from Lille. Big fee that they are paying for the teenager, £52 million. So, yeah, there will be pressure on him straight away, but he looks a real exciting signing for Manchester United. Most people thought he was probably going to end up at Real Madrid because that was the player's preference himself, but United have moved swiftly and they've been able to convince him to make the move to Old Trafford now. And as I said, if he reaches his potential, he could be a real bargain at that price of 52 million, which looks a big price tag right now. But yeah, he's been likened to William Saliba at Arsenal. If he's anywhere as near as good as him, I think he'll be a real astute piece of business by Manchester United. But yeah, encouraging signs that United have been able to convince Yoro to join the club and be part of this new project at Old Trafford under Ineos as well. So yeah, it seems like Man United maybe have learning a few lessons from other mistakes in the transfer market. They have moved quickly. They're getting a lot of their transfer targets in before the start of the season as well, and that can only be encouraging for Erik Ten Hag as well. So, but yeah, to beat some top clubs, the Leny Yoro is a real boost to Manchester United, and it'll be interesting to see what United's plans are for him as well. But paying a fee for a fee in the region of 52 million from him, I would expect him to be going straight into that team as well.
Paul, picking up on that, what do you expect for him for the next, say, 12 to 18 months? Will he be bedded in slowly? Do you see him being an immediate starter? And what impact will Erik Ten Hag have on his career at the club?
18 years old, you wouldn't expect him to be an immediate starter. But, I mean, it's a big fee for a lot of potential. You look at the likes of Archie Gray, who's gone from Leeds to Tottenham, and you look at the fee there. You know, you'd argue, well, is he going to be an immediate starter? But for somebody like Yoro, I mean, he's played 46 games for Lille. That's all he's played. He's not been capped fully at international level yet. 4 French under-21 caps. One of the best prospects at centre-half in world football, but that's what you're buying. You're buying a prospect. You're buying a young player who has shown an incredible amount of talent. And obviously a lot of clubs have scouted him, and it is a big coup for Manchester United to get him. But you would argue, does he go straight into the first team at that age, at that size of a club with that amount of responsibility? But the flip side of that is you don't pay that amount of money for somebody that you're just going to leave out of the squad. He's going to be integrated into the squad slowly. I can't see him starting the season, but I don't know. I can see him being in the squad, utilised throughout the season, and then it's up to him. And we might get one of those wow moments where he comes in, plays, and he puts his hand up and he says, "I have to play every week. I'm that good. I have to play every week." In the same way that Kobbie Mainoo has done at Manchester United, in that type of vein. You look at the age that he is, and you look at what he did at Manchester United last season, and Trent Alexander-Arnold started in central midfield in the Euros for England. Kobbie Mainoo came on as a sub a couple of times, played that well, put his hand up and said, "Look, I have to play in that position." And in a similar way, Yoro could do that at Manchester United next season.
Pete, we've also seen Jonathan Tah linked with the club potentially. Do we could see United bring in 2 top centre-backs this summer? Is there a possibility with that sort of freshen up that defence? Or actually, given the Yoro signing, is that now less likely and they might focus on potential other targets, say?
No, I still think the plan is to bring in 2 centre-backs if it's viable. Still trying to do Matthias de Ligt as well from Bayern Munich, and maybe that's where the Jonathan Tah link comes from, because Bayern Munich are trying to sign Tah from Bayer Leverkusen, but they won't be able to sign him until de Ligt leaves Bavaria. So it's one of those ones. I think obviously Manchester United are maybe looking around to see if there's a way to capitalise on Bayern Munich's failure to get that Tah deal over the line. He's a top player, helped Leverkusen win the Bundesliga last season as well, and featured for Germany at the Euros. But I still think de Ligt is probably the number 1 target for United as well. And we know they've made a couple of bids for Jarrod Branthwaite in this transfer window as well, which Everton have rejected, and they are quite far apart in their evaluations of the left-sided centre-back. But I do think United are looking to bring in 2 centre-backs. It looks like Yoro is going to be number 1. So if they can bring in another one, I think that'll be good business from United, because they lost Raphael Varane in the summer. Talk that Lindelof could possibly leave as well, and we'll have to wait and see what the potential arrival of 2 new centre-backs would mean for the future of Harry Maguire at Old Trafford as well. So yeah, it looks like United are looking to build from the back this year and improve defensively under Erik Ten Hag now, to see if they can get back in that top 4 after a disappointing season last year. So yeah, I think Manchester United still all systems go, and trying to bring in a second centre half as well as Leny Yoro. And as I said, De Ligt probably is the one ahead of everybody else right now to try and get that deal done.
And in terms of other exits, Pete, to pick up on that, we know that Scott McTominay, there's been some conversations about him potentially leaving the club. What's his valuation in today's market, and who are his suitors? Are we looking Premier League, or could it be actually European international clubs?
Yeah, obviously McTominay was strongly linked with the move last summer, but he ended up staying at Old Trafford and did a good job for Erik Ten Hag's side. I think he got 10 goals last year from that midfield role that he is. Yeah, again, I just think, obviously, for McTominay, he wants to stay at Manchester United ideally. That's his priority right now. But I think if it was a big offer, United are holding out for around 30 million for McTominay, which I don't think many people would be willing to spend on the Scotland international. There's been interest from Fulham. They've had a bid earlier in the window, rejected, of around £17 million. Turkish giants Galatasaray have also expressed an interest in McTominay as well, but I don't think they could get anywhere near that £30 million valuation of McTominay either. So unless that price tag is met, I fully expect Scott McTominay to remain at Old Trafford this summer and be playing for Manchester United. So I don't think Erik Ten Hag's in any rush to send him out the exit door at Old Trafford, because they are a bit light in midfield as well. So I think unless it's an offer that's too good to turn down, I expect Manchester United to keep hold of McTominay. And the player himself, I think, as long as he's part of those plans, he's happy to stay at Old Trafford as well.
And Paul, do you think from a playing point of view, could there be some assurances actually that he might get more games? I'm picking up on what Pete said in there, that the midfield is light. Could there be a chance he's actually featured more regularly next season with Erik Ten Hag?
Well, listen, there was talk of him going last season, wasn't there? But like Pete said, he got the goals last season. He became an integral part of their attacking midfield. Is he the level that Manchester United want to progress? I mean, you look at the teams that are looking at him, Galatasaray, Fulham. You don't see Manchester United signing many players from, coming the other way. So you look at where McTominay is in his career, you look at his valuation, and I think the only way that he will get game time next season is if they don't manage to bolster the midfield with signings, with new players coming in. I think he obviously loves the club, wants to stay at the club, but the manager won't be giving him any guarantees that he'll be starting any games or a certain amount of game time. That very, very rarely happens, if ever, in football, and especially a player like Scott McTominay, who next season you see him as a bit part player, not a regular starter.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.